Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be shedding light on the ample challenges appertaining to learning. So, what are some of the ample challenges appertaining to learning? Without further ado, without further delay, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Lamentably, much in my consternation, much in my dismay, much in my chagrin, much in my grief, much in my agony, much in my distress, there are a myriad of challenges associated with learning. Can they be overcome? Can they be surmounted? Fortunately, much to my relief, much to my elation, they can be overcome, in spite of how arduous they are to overcome. One Brobdingnagian challenge associated with learning is being able to apprehend, being able to understand complex, abstract topics, especially if you have no basis for understanding those topics. Are you mentally acute enough to understand complex, abstract topics? Do the cognitive faculties to process the information? Can you decode it? Can you apprehend it? Do you meticulously understand what is being assimilated into your neurons? Or are these memories fleeting? Are they perishable? Are they ephemeral? Are they short-lived? So, one behemoth challenge appertaining to learning is being able to comprehend abstract, complex topics. Certain topics are far more intricate than others. Certain topics are far more convoluted than others. It's not always easy to understand them. We only have so much mental bandwidth. We only have so much mental acuity. Our cognitive faculties are only so sharp. Are you capable of learning foreign languages as an adult? Can you understand graduate level statistics? Can you understand quantum physics? Or do you just not apprehend those topics in meticulous depths? It's a challenge to be able to decode, to be able to decipher, to be able to apprehend complex, abstract topics. Another challenge associated with learning is being able to do so in a short period of time. If you have a compact schedule, if you have a hectic, busy schedule deluged with activities, lamentably, you only have a very finite amount of time to learn something. It's a real strain. It's a real challenge to learn information, to attain skills, attain knowledge in a short period of time. If your schedule is replete with activities, and if your time for learning is infinitesimal, if you have severe time constraints in your schedule, you're going to have to be able to miraculously learn topics, attain skills, attain knowledge in a short period of time. You have to be able to learn efficaciously. You need to learn efficiently. And trying to condense your learning window down to a short period of time renders learning all the more arduous, all the more cumbersome, all the more travailing. Another challenge associated with learning is that it can be arduous to remain self-motivated, to remain self-disciplined, to learn. Are you eager to be an autodidact? Do you want to perpetually learn? It requires mental bandwidth. It can be debilitating and strenuous and mentally laborious. How will you remain self-motivated? There's no immediate payoff post attaining knowledge. There's no immediate payoff post building your repertoire. When you acquire new skill sets, when you acquire more knowledge, even in the long haul, there's no guaranteed payoff. You can execute your knowledge, but it may not yield any fruitful results. So, how will you be incentivized? How will you be enticed? What will compel you to incessantly, unremittingly, ceaselessly learn? Will you be able to sustain doing so? How will you be self-motivated? What is another challenge appertaining to learning? Another challenge associated with learning is being able to learn when you are in a state of chronic fatigue. How will you learn when you are chronically stressed out, chronically burnt out, chronically fatigued, chronically inflamed, and are unwell? How will you learn when you are being besieged by acute chronic stressors? In addition to your life being inundated with distractions, how will you learn in a state of poor health? Learning is already a challenge within itself. It's not easy to render information retentive. It's not easy to solidify information in your neurons and render them easily accessible. It's not easy to instantiate information and have it marinate into the chasms of your mind, metaphorically speaking. But how will you overcome this challenge of learning if you are chronically fatigued, chronically stressed out, chronically inflamed, in poor health, and chronically burnt out? How will you learn when you are exhausted, debilitated, vitiated, lethargic, impaired, frazzled, torpid, and have a negligible amount of energy? That can be another challenge within itself. When your ability to learn is undermined due to all these exogenous factors, It stymies your ability to learn. In order to be able to learn efficaciously, you need to be poised to learn. You need to be primed to learn. And being chronically stressed out, chronically fatigued, chronically inflamed, in poor health, and chronically burnt out is not conducive to being poised to learn. You want to be able to assimilate the maximum amount of information in a short period of time. You do not want to have it perpetually repeated to you. You want to be able to learn efficaciously and not inefficaciously. You want the information to be deemed retentive. If you lack the mental bandwidth, if you lack the mental acuity, if you lack the cognitive faculties, if you lack the processing power to learn, and if you are in an impaired state due to all these exogenous factors, it's going to encroach on your ability to learn. It's going to impinge on your ability to learn. For most people, lamentably, learning does not come easy. You have to be studious to be able to learn. You need to be diligent and sedulous to be able to learn. You have to have the learning mindset to be amenable to learning. If you try to do so in poor health, it's going to compromise your ability to learn. Your cognitive faculties need to be in top form, metaphorically speaking, to be able to learn. You should be eminently hydrated, eminently nourished. Eminently rejuvenated. And be highly open-minded before you commence learning. Do not try to impetuously learn information to acquire knowledge. If you lack the right mindset, if you're in an impaired state, if you have poor health, it's going to prolong the learning process. We want the learning window to be truncated. We do not want to squander. We do not want to needlessly squander additional time attempting to learn complex, convoluted, intricate, abstract topics. We want to be able to learn these topics efficaciously and not needlessly fritter away our sacrosanct, indispensable, finite, precious, invaluable time. So, fortunately, the challenges of learning can be overcome. It is extraordinarily cumbersome to learn topics when you are disinterested in the topics. However, there is information that you will need to learn, irrespective of whether or not you are interested in the topics. You need to be able to accrue knowledge, build your repertoire, and have practical skills that have utility, that have a pragmatic application. You're not going to be able to function optimally if your knowledge base is scant, if your skill sets are scant. And can be empowering to attain practical knowledge and attain practical skill sets. I hope that you found this video to be insightful and enthralling. Have a blissful day, and do your utmost best to overcome the challenges of learning. You want to be able to learn and not render yourself subpar. You want to be able to manifest the quintessential version of yourself into reality and actualize your latent potential. Do not settle for insipid mediocrity. Do not be complacent with not actualizing the utmost best version of yourself into reality. Once again, I hope you deem this video to be engrossing as well as insightful. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.